Have you ever felt like modern manufacturing is just pure chaos? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful Japanese concept called Heijunka. It's an amazing technique for bringing a sense of calm, predictable order to the factory floor, and honestly, it's more important now than ever. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so before we can even talk about the solution, we have to really get our heads around the problem. Why is it that so many modern production lines feel like a total scramble, just trying to keep up with constantly changing demands?
Just think about it for a second. Every single day, your customers want more variety, more options, more customization. That puts a crazy amount of pressure on your people and your machines. So the real question is, how do you manage all that complexity without everything just falling apart?
Well, this whole challenge actually has a name: high-mix, low-volume production. And it's basically the new normal for everybody. We're not making thousands and thousands of the exact same thing anymore. Instead, factories have to churn out a huge variety of different products, but in much, much smaller batches. And all that constant switching, that's what creates the chaos and just kills your efficiency. But what if there was a way to smooth all that out, to get rid of those jagged peaks and deep valleys of demand? Well, it turns out there is. And the secret is found in the wisdom of a concept called Heijunka.
Heijunka, it literally just means leveling. You can think of it as the art of smoothing out your production schedule to create a workflow that's predictable, consistent, and way more efficient. So instead of just reacting wildly to every single new order that comes in, you create a balanced, steady, averaged flow.
And Heijunka does this leveling in two really distinct ways. First, you've got volume leveling. So, instead of making 100 widgets on Monday and then only 20 on Tuesday, you aim for a steady average output. Let's say 60 widgets every single day. Then you have type leveling. This is where instead of making a massive batch of product A, then a giant batch of product B, you produce them in a mixed repeating pattern. A, then B, then C, and then you do it again. A, B, C.
Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, that ABC pattern means we have to change over our machines way more often, right? And you're not wrong. It does, but the payoff is absolutely huge. You gain this incredible flexibility to respond to what your customers actually want right now without being stuck with a giant, expensive pile of just one product.
And hey, let's clear something up really quick, because a lot of people get this mixed up. Heijunka is not the same thing as standardization. Think of it this way. Heijunka is all about making the flow of the work consistent. Standardization is about making the quality of the final product consistent by using clear rules. They're partners, for sure, but they have totally different jobs.
So you go through all this trouble to level your production. What's in it for you? What are the real, tangible rewards for the business? Let's break down exactly what you get out of it.
When you really implement Heijunka, it creates 5 major advantages that can completely change the game for your entire operation. Okay, so first, you slash your labor costs because you're staffing for that steady, average demand, not those crazy expensive peaks. Second, your quality goes way up because your people and your machines aren't constantly being pushed to their breaking point. Third, you get your inventory just right. No more costly overstock and no more frustrating shortages. Fourth, your productivity skyrockets because you have a smooth, predictable workflow. And finally, you become way more responsive to what your customers actually need.
This all sounds great in theory, I know, but how do you actually do it? Let's get super practical and walk through the 5 key steps to actually make this happen.
The roadmap here is actually really logical. It all starts with analysis. You map out your entire process to find every single spot where you're losing time. Next, you categorize every task. And from there, it's just a systematic attack. You eliminate the pure waste, then you shorten the time your machines are stopped, and finally, you streamline all the prep work you can do while the machines are still running.
And that distinction in step 2, it's absolutely critical to get this right. Internal setup is any work that forces the machine to be turned off. That's pure, painful downtime. External setup, on the other hand, is all the prep work you can get done on the side while the machine is still humming along and making you money.
And this right here, this is the whole game. The single most important goal of this entire exercise is to convert as many of those machine-off tasks into machine-on tasks as you possibly can. Can you get the next tool ready ahead of time? Can you preheat the next mold? Every single minute of internal setup that you can magically transform into external setup is a direct, measurable win for productivity.
Look, implementing a system like this is a big deal. It's a major change. So before we wrap this up, let's go over the 4 essential keys to making sure it actually works and, more importantly, that it sticks around.
You've got to be smart about how you roll this out. Don't try to change the entire factory overnight. That's a recipe for disaster. Start with one single product line and learn from it. Be ready to adjust your plan all the time. And maybe most importantly, invest in your people. Give them the training and the clear guides they need so everyone's on the same page.
And this might be the most important takeaway of the entire thing. It is so easy to get obsessed with the process, to get so focused on doing Heijunka that you forget why you're doing it. Heijunka is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's just that, a tool. It's a tool for achieving a much bigger goal, making your business better by cutting costs and improving quality. That has to be your true north always.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Take a look at your own work, your own processes, your own team. Where's the mura, the unevenness, the chaos? And now that you know a little something about Heijunka, do you see a path to finally leveling it all out? Thanks so much for watching.